you know, like my house went up 65%. I mean, that's ridiculous. My homeowner's insurance just went up $811 because of this whole situation. I'm a single person, but I live, where I live, all my neighbors are older. They're on fixed incomes. How do they manage? And everybody's has gone up. It's not just mine. Mine went up 65%. The only thing I've done is pull my shutters off last summer and painted them. I mean, my property's the same. I haven't done nothing to upgrade it. And they make it sound like my garage that's made out of stone is like been redone. And I drive and I work for myself here. So I'm part of this community. I buy my fuel from here for my truck. Last year I went away to Texas. So I wasn't here. If this would have happened this time last year, I'd have missed the whole complete thing. I would have been out of the loop completely about it. But I feel like the assessment, first of all, there should be a cap on it. You shouldn't be able to come 5 years or 4 years and say 65% your place just went up. It's ridiculous. And I mean, I'm trying to survive, but you guys are talking about building and making economic changes so people have places to live that are affordable. But think about like my costs. If I sat down and broke it all down, and I'm sure, I cannot believe this place is not filled with people pissed off, first of all, because of this. And I understand that just because they assessed it at that much, and that you guys had talked, from my understanding, I don't know this for a fact, but that like the percentage was going to come down tax-wise, correct?
Yes.
That's what I heard. Okay, but so what? Now you've assessed my place at so much, it's going to still, whether it's next year it hits me or the year after, I'm still going to, and I'm still trying, my goal in life is like anybody else's, pay off my house, have my own, be self-sufficient and accountable for myself and have a good living. But I mean, even working for yourself, everything, I get it, everything goes up, and I see where we're at economically, I see that. But you guys have more control. And I mean, I'm here to speak for my elderly neighbors, and you know, I mean, it's ridiculous. 100%. One of my neighbors went up 100%, and they put like siding on, but it's still, even then, it didn't matter. I feel 100% sure that these people that assess these properties weren't out there looking at our property. I don't feel like that at all. But what do you do from here?
It's a lot of misinformation on these. Actually, your taxes are not going to go up, it's your reassessment that's going up. But the town of Clifton Forge has nothing to do with the reassessment. It's Alleghany County.
I realize that, but
so we can't do anything on the reassessment. All we can do is just like Alleghany County. After all the procedures is over and we look for our numbers, we cannot make 1% higher just like Alleghany County from the following year. So your taxes is actually, your reassessments will go up, but your taxes are going to go down.
right, but it's affected my homeowner's insurance, $811. That's a jump. That's not even, I mean, that's ridiculous.
I didn't like the assessment either, like I said, the county, but
No, it's terrible, but we have to do something about it.
the people come from Watertown County and assess this property, and
There you
the
go.
property over there is worth a whole lot more money
Right.
than the property over here.
Amen.
And I feel like they use that basis.
Yeah.
I'm just.
I know, but it's still not okay, because even here in Clifton Forge, we have Alleghany and here to pay.
Yeah.
And I mean, basically, unless you go in there and you pay with cash, because if you go in there and try to use your debit card, they're going to charge you 3% on top of that, which is freaking ridiculous. It's all robbery. It's just like the homeowner. It's all crap. But there's got to be a resolution. I want to live here. I want to retire here. You know, I want to make sure my neighbors aren't, they're paying more for stuff that they can't afford, because half of my neighbors are widows for whatever reason, but they're single, they're on incomes, they have lived there their entire lives, so that is their, you know, that's their livelihood. Me, I can sell and just leave, I mean, but I don't want to do that. You know, and you're talking about developing more here, but who can afford it? Who could afford it? I mean, seriously, it's a problem, but we need to address it. There needs to be a resolution to that.
Have you signed up for the appeal?
I did not, because I missed it. So I drive dump truck, and I'm faced with the same thing in the wintertime, I'm with VDOT, so I plow for them. And when I'm not, I drive tractor trailer, so I'm gone. I go until I have to be here or whatever. So I missed a lot of the whatever that's going on. I did try, and it was too late, so I went through Alleghany, and they were like, you missed the deadline.
I don't know if anybody got any of those things, but I'd be interested to hear.
Well, I mean, powers and numbers, what do we need to do? I'll go door to door. I don't care at this point. I think that this is a good place to be. I believe this is a good community. But I want to be a part of the solution, not part of the problem. You know, I don't want to just leave. I don't want to sell my place and leave because it's home to me. But I mean, I'm a single person trying to run my business and make a living. And it's hard. I mean, it's hard. It's ridiculous.
I went to the last Alleghany Board of Supervisors meeting and spoke for Clifton on the reassessment. You know, and our hands were, Clifton Forge's hands are tied. I mean, there's nothing at all we can do. But it was probably 40 people at that meeting, and I thought it was going to be packed that
It
night.
should have been.
And you know how many from Clifton Forge?
How many?
0.
Wow. I couldn't believe it when I walked in there tonight. It's disheartening. It's very disheartening.
Advertise that.
It
'Cause
should
I'd
be.
like to go to it next time.
And that would be maybe that's a good solution too, running something in the paper. And like I said, I'm not against going door to door and talking to people, and good Lord, there's enough people on Facebook and doing all that stuff, but I think that numbers speak volume. And I think people have to be made aware and maybe encouraged a little bit, but
Mike, you might be able to answer this question. Is that state mandated or county mandated, the reassessment? State,
Every 6 years.
every 6 years, the state mandated.
The furthest apart you can do it is 6. 4 is the default unless you
Yeah.
want to make it 6.
So actually, the county can't do nothing about it. The state sends somebody in here and assesses this property.
But
The county can change it to whatever they want. They can do it every year if they want to.
The reason you wind up with such a huge jump in your assessment
because of the
is
years.
because it's so long between assessments.
Well, that they should be allowed to do that, but 65% or more I mean,
Want to hear
it's,
something crazy? The next assessment's coming from somebody from Massachusetts. That's what, Qualitas told me. They're all being fired.
well, then my question to you would be, is like, do we have an option for who does the reassessments for the counties? Or is it,
You have to go to the
where does that fall?
Get control of the meetings, yes.
The Board of Supervisors, okay?
You just have to, I mean, you have to express it to the board supervisor meeting. What is it, first Monday, Tuesday, of the month,
Okay. And now is that Alleghany?
Alleghany.
Okay. All right. Okay. But I mean,
6 houses here, so you know it hit me really hard.
yeah, like I said, it's not right. It's not right because it's not,
It isn't right because the state does it. and
if you have young kids even at home and you were like a married couple, I mean, it's still, like, it's
income
crazy
here is
where we're
that
at.
The income here is way lower than the income in Botetourt.
Oh, yeah, I realize that. I know that.
But they assessed the property like it was Botetourt property.
Right.
That's really blew my
But
mind.
you're aware of that and you know that, so what do you do about it? You said it's affecting you, so what do you do about it?
I didn't know the state, so I asked him, that's why I had to ask the attorney, who did the assessment,
Right.
you know?
yeah, it's somebody who's certified by the state, but they're hired by the Board of Supervisors. So, but there's only about half dozen firms in the whole state that are certified to do it. There's a pretty hefty training requirements. And some localities that do it every year or every 2 years, they have in-house, they have basically 2 or 3 hired people who are appraisers who do it for usually the Commissioner of the Revenue's office. But that, it's not necessarily cost effective for a rural county.
Some of that northern stuff,
What's that?
more of that northern stuff.
Any suggestions?
Go to the county meeting.
There's not a person in this room tonight that has any control over the reassessment or the
Well, I
reassessed
disagree
value.
with you.
But what this council does have control over is the tax rate. And there will be an
Right, I realize
equalization
that.
rate as determined by the regulations from the state as how that is mandated. And that will be.
So that's probably not going to help us either, though.
It will help you. It will help you. It will be voted on, publicized, public hearings for public input, and voted on by this council as part of the budget cycle that's coming up right now, which has to be approved to be in effect and in place before July 1. But the equalization rate, or the new tax rate, if you will be retroactive to January 1 of this year.
Right.
So, right, really, with the reassessment situation, that's the only control that this council has at this moment in time to deal with it for the residents.
Right, but you guys only have so much control because of whatever the state allows for you guys.
The state guidelines state, correct me if I'm wrong on this, Mike, that the locality or municipality cannot realize more than a 1% increase in revenue over their total revenue from property tax for the previous fiscal year. So unless, and I don't see this happening, but unless this council would decide that we need more than that, and they hold a public hearing and they decide they could vote to keep more than that.
Right,
But
right.
as a general rule, especially with an assessment, I think this big,
Yeah, right.
most municipalities are going to stand by that 1% equalized increase
Right.
in taxes assessed. They can't do anything other than voice their discern about the assessed values and how they were handled. Is that correct explanation, Mike?
That's correct. You know, the Virginia Constitution requires assessments at 100% of fair market value. My house went up, I live in Roanoke City, but my house went up over 10% year over year. They do it every single year. But if I were gonna put my house on the market, I'd still list it for more than what my assessment is, so I can't really complain. However, it would be nice if the rate went down.
Right. Well, yours is convenience too where you live, but still, if they did ours by 10% here, it would have been 60 then. Still would have been less.
What they're saying my house is worth, I don't think I can get for it. I can't sell it for that price, and I didn't do nothing to my house, but have shorty put
Thank
a
you.
roof on it.
All right,
So
thank you.
that you might have a legitimate right.